This week, I had a geometry test, and I had to study all night through 7 different sections from the book. Our teacher even let us use note cards during the test. The note cards had to be a 3x5, and if it was any bigger, he'll cut the most important part. We also had to have a protractor and a compass, and if we didn't have it and used his supplies, he would take points off our test. I was distracted because my friend came over and we talked for about an hour, and he left. 10 minutes later, I watched my TV shows on Netflix. I watched one episode and then I started on my note cards. I was able to get my note cards finished in about 5 minutes. I made sure the note card was 3x5 using a ruler. I packed all my stuff into my backpack and watched more Netflix. An hour later, I set my alarm for 5 a.m. and went to bed.
The next day, I woke up to my annoying alarm clock at 5 a.m. stressing about my geometry test. I double-checked to see if everything was ready. I rechecked my compass, protractor, and my homework assignments in my backpack. I had a smoothie for breakfast and headed to school at 6:40 a.m. I have to leave early to school because I have driver's education at 7 a.m. In my driver's education class, I learned that if you don't wear a seatbelt, you can get pulled over by a police officer. When driver's education was over, I headed straight over to geometry and studied one last time for my test. I quickly glanced at my book and the bell rang. I was anxious about taking the test. I took out my note card and my teacher started passing out tests to the students. About an hour later, I finished it, gave it to my teacher, and later in that day, I checked Aries. I passed my test with a 70%, which was a big relief.